Just trying to remember how to make this live. That's not how. That's not how. Aha, I think I remember. Right there. Anyone? Okay, hopefully it's live and we're doing good. Sorry about the videos. That's better. Obviously the sun was reflecting on that weird. So, hello everyone. I should be able to see if you comment or anything. In one of my groups I'm part of, just recently was talking to someone. They were newly diagnosed, and I was remembering back to when I was diagnosed and my kids were diagnosed, and how discouraging that was. That, oh, we're going to be in pain the rest of our lives. There's nothing we can do. There's not much known about this disease. The works. Just really discouraged and confused and everything else. And especially with the kids, one of the things that came up is, what about school? Especially PE. We all know that PE is a no-go, or at least some things in PE are no-goes for people with EDS. And that can be really discouraging. So, what do we do? How do the kids not feel ostracized? How do you not give up, become discouraged from this diagnosis? So, some of the things we've learned from since then is, one, my parents probably both have EDS, and they actually own their own business and are very active. And that gave me hope that there is a possibility of still staying that active and getting stuff done that needs to get done and not being in quite as much pain. So there's that. Sorry, I was looking at something outside the window. There's that. But how do I get there? And what about the kids? How do they not feel ostracized and different and everything else? Especially PE is a huge one. So I started talking to our counselor, my kids' counselor. And one thing that was decided was that she could actually put them in a quote, quote, online PE that actually was administered by her. But so when kids ask, why aren't you in PE? They can say, oh, I am, just at home. It's an online program, or things like that. And then what she did is she counts all their physical therapy time. She counts all the time they're doing the exercises for the physical therapy, because that's a daily thing. And all that goes towards the PE credit. So they are doing PE. They're just like their friends, and they're a normal person, but they're doing it at home. And nowadays, that's actually pretty common to have classes at home, either on the computer or other ways online. And so, in fact, they are often considered lucky, rather than being made feel that they are different and unusual and everything else. They're lucky because they get to do their PE at home. They don't have to say what they do in PE. That's why I wanted to go live. Ask any questions you have in regards to this. Please, I will be watching, and I will answer any questions you have. I'm actually waiting somewhere, and that's why I'm in the vehicle. So they get to be normal, but not have it affect them long term. And that's one thing to remember, is you don't want to push yourself so hard that you actually injure yourself for the long term. A little bit now, being aware of those restrictions and things can actually prevent a lot of heartache and struggles and pain later on in life. PT is huge. If you can't get a physical therapist, I have videos on this channel of physical therapy ideas. I'm going to be putting some more up. That's actually why I'm working on the app. Because PT, the more you do PT, physical therapy, exercises, usually stretches are thought to be included in PT. Stretches are not good for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in general. I actually have a video that goes into that. The reason being is it doesn't just lengthen the muscle, it stretches our tendons, and our tendons are already loose, so we can dislocate easier. So for me, PT, I actually have a video on a PT session of mine. It's sped up, but you can watch the whole session in one of my videos. And I believe it was back in May, and it says, what is PT? Or what happens during PT, something like that. I can try and link to it. But a lot of my session is my physical therapist putting things back in place so that as the muscles strengthen, the joints stay in place. And then from there, my kids, because they aren't quite as bad out of place right now, because it was caught a lot younger, which was a good thing. Theirs is putting a few things back in place and then going and doing exercises to strengthen. Being aware that you don't want to do exercises so far that you are exhausted. If you exhaust your muscles, you will actually allow yourself to dislocate easier and everything to slip easier. So you stop when you start feeling it, not when it's painful or whatever. You just start feeling exhausted or tired. Not even exhausted, just tired is where you stop. And that's what the physical therapist has helped work with them on, realizing where that point is and keeping everything in place. And so that's what I found a really good physical therapist is. There are people who get into physical therapy and they're pushed too hard. I had one of my sons is in Oklahoma right now, not where we are. And he actually had a physical therapist do that to him, and he's only starting to regain what he had lost because of that physical therapy. So that's something to be aware of. But even just the general exercises at home, I have videos on that, and my counselor, my kids' counselor, counts any of the exercises they do at home towards that time towards their PT. So what you can do, they don't necessarily get healed or repaired because they formed wrong. There are some over-the-counter things and stuff that might be able to help a little bit, them strengthen a little bit, but the bigger thing is as you strengthen the muscles can take the place of the tendons and hold the tendons tight to help hold everything in. And that's why exercise is so important. However, it takes longer for us to develop that. And that's why you have to be careful at how far you push. Our bodies take longer to heal. And so the longer our bodies take to heal, you can't push the muscle every day or every other day and have it recover like you would if you were just able to immediately push and push like a regular person and heal like a regular person. But at the same time, that's where the over-the-counter can come in helpful. Things like vitamin C can speed healing, which can allow those to repair a little bit faster so you can strengthen a little bit more, things like that. Weight gain is something that some people have complained about. Either gaining weight or losing weight. My physical therapist actually, and I did a video on this, I don't know if it's gone up or not yet, but he had someone who actually went on total parental or TPN, which means the full nutrition was through IV. And they did not lose 1 pound in that whole time. People without EDS will usually lose a lot of weight at that time. And part of it's the same thing. Our body's trying to hold on to everything to deal with it. And sometimes is even in starvation mode at what most people would call a normal diet. So that's the weight thing. And pain can actually be reduced by the amount of by keeping those muscles strong, by the physical therapy or the exercises that equate to physical therapy, because it helps hold everything in place, and so then you don't hurt as much, if that makes sense, because you're not pulling at things and pulling them into places they shouldn't be pulled into. So do you have any other questions on that? Okay, that's a good question. Muscle soreness after a heavy workout is normal for people without EDS, but with EDS, we get it a lot. And the reason why is our muscles are working overtime. That's why we can go into starvation mode. So if you think about when someone goes and works out really hard, their muscles, someone who doesn't have EDS, their muscles get sore. Our body is working out overtime all the time to try and keep us upright. Just sitting here where I use more energy than someone without EDS. So there's that. Massage, it depends on the massage therapist. The problem is you don't want to loosen those muscles because they're what's holding the tendons and all the joints in place. But you can get knots in your muscles that causes the extreme soreness and can actually cause problems with the muscle functioning correctly. So you need to get rid of the knots while not getting rid of the tightness of the muscles. And that's been something that I was actually a licensed massage therapist before I started having issues. So that kind of shows you I was very much into massage, and it's been a change to learn where the muscles should be at and how to hold them at the right point, if that makes sense. So I did a video. I don't know if it's gone out yet or if it'll go out in my videos right now, I'm only maybe a week ahead. I hope to get some more done. That's part of the way I deal with my EDS and make sure I keep the channel active, is I do videos ahead of hand. But if it's not on the channel right now, there will be one, and it talks about massage. And I can probably do that again, but you want to release a knot, but not the whole muscle, because you want the muscle to stay tighter so it can hold everything in place. Do you have any other questions? Well, while I'm waiting to see, I will say my parents are in their 70s. I think 60s or 70s. No, that I'm glad it helps. My parents are in their 60s or 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and they work demanding jobs. They're actually, my dad's owns the business they own is a meat cutting and a deli place, and takes a lot of work from them. And they are able to do it, but once in a while they do get injured, and that you have to stop and you have to take that time to heal, and that can be hard. But they're still able to do it, and they aren't in pain constantly to where they can't work. So there is hope. Sometimes we'll end up worse off for a while, but as we take care of things and try and recover, it can help bring those things back. And I have a lot of that on my channel. So if you have any other questions in the future, feel free to contact me. I have my contact information on this page and on most of my social media, and I'm more than willing to help anyone who has any questions. So I hope that helps. It's actually getting to the point I need to run. Hopefully they help you out, and like I said, if there is a question you have and it's not answered there, or even you don't want to take the time to find it, to look there or whatever, get in touch with me, and I will do everything I can to answer them. I do need to go because the thing I'm waiting for is about to start. So I will let you go, but please contact me with any questions you have. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining me. Bye.